Good morning. This is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, August 23rd, 2026. We've still got a few critical fire weather days ahead of us before things calm down a little bit by the middle of next week. Isolated to scattered storms will develop once again today and tomorrow, decreasing Tuesday through the work week. Gusty winds are expected today across much of Nevada and up into the central Idaho mountains, with those gusty winds continuing along the Sierra front pretty much every day through the work week. Overall fire danger values will increase rapidly beginning on Tuesday as the air mass dries out. A closer look at the impacts for the next couple of days shows those areas of highlighted winds over the central Idaho mountains, along the Sierra front, and parts of southern Nevada as well. Today, with gusty winds up to possibly 40 miles an hour or so. And then we have isolated storms developing again, mainly in Utah, parts of northeast Nevada, southeast Idaho, and western Wyoming, with some drier air elsewhere to the west and north. On Monday, we'll see the storms move a little bit back into the north, and particularly northern Nevada, northwest Nevada. And then we'll see those winds again in Nevada. On Tuesday, some winds do return to the central Idaho mountains, and we'll see some isolated storms continuing there, but decreasing in coverage beginning on Tuesday. Yesterday was a fairly active day. We had some storms across much of the area with those lightning activity over Nevada, parts of western and northern Utah, into eastern Idaho. The central Idaho mountains did see some lightning activity as well. Some of the storms up there were a little bit wetter, but definitely further south and over Nevada, they were on the drier side. Yesterday, we had quite a bit of initial attack with new IA from the last couple of days of the lightning activity. 61 new fires for over 14,000 acres on our large fire growth. A lot of that coming from the Hawk Fire on the Sierra front, and then over 2,000 acres on our large fire growth. We're seeing a little more smoke impacting the area with the Hawk Fire in western Nevada and some smoke coming up into the southern Great Basin from southern California. And then the Slough Canyon fire is putting up a little more smoke as it becomes more active as well. Overall fire danger values are still hovering close to normal for the time of year for today, a little bit higher across the north and western areas. But the type of fire activity we're seeing definitely does indicate that even though fire danger isn't setting records for the time of year, we still have a lot of dry grass in particular in some of these areas that just need a few days of drying to really take off, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. As the air mass dries out over the coming days, the fire danger values will increase as minimum humidities drop and temperatures remain warm. The satellite image this morning is showing high pressure ridge over the Four Corners area, or just to the south and east, and then this trough moving into the Pacific Northwest right along the Canadian border there. That is bringing enhanced winds to much of Idaho and Nevada today, as well as bringing some drier air into parts of Idaho. Looking at the forecast for the next couple of days, we still have quite a few significant fire weather concerns. For today, we've got a lot of wind there of the central Idaho mountains and across parts of western and southeast Nevada, with the little trough moving to the north. Tomorrow, we'll see a little bit of moisture scoot back up into parts of northern Nevada. We do have some high risks for lightning there, and then the wind continuing along the Sierra front in parts of eastern Nevada. On Tuesday, some gustier winds return to the central Idaho mountains and remain breezy along the Sierra front. Closer look at the winds, showing some breezy conditions in western Nevada today and over the east central Idaho mountains into parts of western Wyoming, and then of course gusty outflows where we do have thunderstorms popping up. On Monday, the winds pick up even a little bit more along the Sierra front in parts of western Nevada. And those gusty winds will continue along the Sierra front there into Tuesday. Minimum relative humidities are going to be hovering in the mid-teens for most of the lower elevations, and those will be decreasing as we head into the middle of next week. Precipitation trends for the next couple of days, again showing some moisture still in place over mainly southeast Idaho into western Wyoming, parts of central Nevada, and into mainly northern and central Utah. That's where we'll see those storms again today. Not looking for a ton of precipitation, but some storms may have a little bit more here in southern Idaho and over the Uintas in Utah. Storms developing in much the same areas tomorrow, although we will see some isolated storms squeak back into parts of western and northwestern Nevada. Those will definitely be on the drier side. And then by Tuesday, we'll see some clearing across the area. For the second half of the work week, high pressure still kind of hanging out over the southwest area, keeping generally dry southwest flow in place over much of the Great Basin. We don't have any high risk in the second half of the week, but we do expect to see still some breezy winds over the Sierra Front. And some of the models are bringing a little bit more precipitation back up into the Great Basin in that Thursday or Friday timeframe. So we could see some storms moving back into the area. Looking at the winds again, Sierra Front still going to be breezy pretty much every afternoon through the work week, and minimum relative humidity stay dry and decreasing back down into the low teens, especially over Nevada and parts of the lower elevations of Utah. Precipitation forecast for the second half of the work week, again, maybe some isolated storms lingering on Wednesday over the higher elevations of Utah and up into the east central Idaho mountains. Decreasing coverage on Thursday and Friday, but again, some of the models are showing a little bit of moisture coming back into the area beginning on Friday. Maximum temperatures have come down a bit across the north as that little trough is passing far to the north, but still warm over Utah and Nevada. By Tuesday, the temperatures pop right back up, highs in the low to mid 90s continuing. To sum things up, the next couple of days are still going to be pretty critical with some winds over Idaho and Nevada, where we've recently seen some of those isolated drier storms. And then we'll see some isolated storms move back up into northwest Nevada tomorrow, and they'll be on the drier side there. Winds continuing on Tuesday. And then the second half of the period, we're mostly going to be concerned about those winds continuing along the Sierra Front and maybe some moisture coming back in towards the end of the period. The extended forecast keeps things very warm across much of the geographic area, particularly the south and east. And then we see this below normal chance for precipitation over Utah and eastern Idaho, a little bit closer to normal in the west. That concludes today's briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.